My name is Yvonne. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a female, Asian Hispanic. I know, lovely mix. At the time of this, I was in my 30s. I'm about 5'6" and weighed 130 pounds. Athletic, fair-skinned, and was also newly divorced. I had embraced my newfound freedom. I must warn you though, my experience can be triggering, as it contains many acts of violence, both domestic and sexual assault. I would respond flirtatiously yet joking. Victor, it doesn't hurt to dream. I saw anger in the deep of his big brown eyes, but I promised myself he would get nothing but my pity. And I jokingly said, I'd rather be dead. Yes, it temporarily numbed my emotions, but due to my selfish behavior, my young children suffered. I was young, but even then, I acted immature. I just wanted to have a good time. I wanted absolutely nothing serious with anyone. My recent divorce was hurting me so deeply, and when I liked someone, I would romance that person until they would be eating from my hand. But then, just like that, I wouldn't contact them again. But when someone showed too much interest in me, I did the very opposite. Yes, I pushed back harder. I had youth and beauty. I was in control, or so I thought. There was this very handsome man who was a friend of a friend's. This night, he happened to be the lucky one who apparently wanted more than to just dance the night away. As you may have guessed, I was most definitely pushing him back, but I had my reasons this time. The last time I had seen this guy, he made comments that made me dislike him even more. You will be mine, he would jokingly tell me. I would respond flirtatiously yet joking. Victor, it doesn't hurt to dream. I saw anger in the deep of his big brown eyes, but I promised myself he would get nothing but my pity. And I jokingly said, I'd rather be dead. Victor replied in a firm voice, That can be arranged, followed by laughter from him, but also everyone who was there at the party. They thought it was funny too. Then one of Victor's friends said, almost threateningly, You know, Victor always gets what he wants. With my liquid courage out loud, I said, I belong to no one, and just to be clear, I'm the one who does the picking and choosing. Feeling slutty, my friends laughed in agreement. Finally, party night had arrived. The plan was for the couples to all go together, males and females paired respectively. But when I got picked up, to my dismay, guess who I'd been paired with? You guessed it, Victor, who also happened to be the person driving us in his brand new red truck. I knew it was a conspiracy, but I wasn't going to back down. I was ready for the challenge. We decided to go to a very fancy club, and Victor was being a total gentleman from what I could tell. The lights were bright, the music was bumping, and the alcohol was flowing. I felt alive. And tonight was all about me. I realized at one point that I needed to go to the ladies' room. It was there that I assessed my current situation and concluded that I would slow down on the drinking. It wasn't even midnight, and I could already feel the effects, which was odd, because not only was my head spinning, but I would feel terribly sleepy. I also didn't want to drink any more, so I could keep my composure and not do something I would regret. But I was feeling sleepy. There was a point where I almost thought I would fall asleep while standing by the sink washing my hands. At the time I didn't even realize I hadn't finished up my Jack and Coke. This feeling was new, so now it was a matter of survival. I stormed out of the bathroom to find the girls I came with. I wanted to be near them in case I collapsed, but my steps were getting heavier, as were my eyelids. Then I realized the drink. He was tall at 6'2", 250 pounds with brown hair and beautiful dreamy brown eyes. His teeth were perfectly white and straight. He was walking towards me, and as he got closer, I wanted to yell, "You drugged me, you coward!" Then I felt my legs give out, but I don't remember hitting the floor. I really don't know how long I was out. I opened my eyes to the humming ceiling fan and the cool air hitting my bare body. The first thought was to quickly sit up and find my clothes, but for the time being I couldn't move. I was able to move my eyes, but my entire body was numb. I began questioning myself. Who did I leave the club with? Where am I? Whose living room was I lying in? I wanted my clothes, but how could I find it if I couldn't even move my hands? Suddenly I heard footsteps and a familiar voice. You awake? It was Victor. How could he ask so calmly? I wanted to say many obscenities, but my voice wasn't cooperating. It was gone. I realized I was lying butt naked on my adversary's couch, when I realized he was also naked. No. How could this be happening? I was defenseless, pinned to the couch and unable to scream or run. I was Victor's prey, and he was going to have his way with me while holding me hostage. As he grabbed my hair and sat me up on the couch, he got a styrofoam cup and poured a bitter, clear liquid in my mouth, and at the same time he was holding a knife to the side of my throat and screamed at me to drink. The tip of his pocket knife was so sharp, it was best to cooperate. I was being violated in so many ways. I needed to use the bathroom badly, and somehow it seemed as if he read my mind. He dragged me off the couch and threw me to the floor, and had the balls to kick me twice in the ribs. Then, with a closed fist, punched me in the face several times. I could feel the blood flowing from my nose and into my mouth, and immediately felt a lot heavier. He pointed towards the bathroom, and I began to slowly crawl in his direction. I knew I was probably not going to make it out of there alive, but I couldn't understand why he hated me so much. But what about my children? What would happen to them? There was women's underwear and children's toys scattered all over the wooden floor. I grabbed a moist towel from the floor, noticing that neither my clothes nor purse were in sight. Then I heard a phone vibrating. I quickly located it. There it was, a beautiful flip phone. As soon as I opened it, I dialed 911 immediately. I began digging around the bathroom for any information that I could provide to emergency services. They answered, asking what my emergency was. I let the dispatcher know that it wasn't a prank call, that I had been kidnapped, drugged, raped, and brutally beaten by a man. I gave the address I had found on a prescription bottle label in the medicine cabinet. I was in Gilbert, Arizona. I was trying my best to give the best description of Victor, when quickly he tears down the bathroom door. I'm greeted with a fist across my jaw, causing me to stumble and hit my head at the edge of the sink. My heart sank as the flip phone went flying across the floor. I'm losing consciousness, trying to protest from drinking whatever he's forcing down my throat, but obviously I don't have a choice, because what I hear next just confirmed that I was very much dead. A click. I knew what it was. It was a firearm. I felt the cold barrel of the 9mm that was against my temple. I could feel the warm blood dripping down into my chest from my face. And then Victor said the following. You called the cops. We have to go now. Besides, I need to get rid of you, because my wife and kids will be home soon. I could barely stay awake, so Victor tried to drag me by the hair. But it was taking too long and he lost his patience. He proceeded to drag me by the arm from the 3rd floor. As he exited the door, he grabbed me, threw me over his shoulder, and was trying to get me in the truck. But somehow I was fighting him. I figured he was going to kill me anyway. I might as well fight this deranged, evil man. I was screaming, biting, kicking, and scratching, but I couldn't see because my eyes were closed shut from injuries. But I imagined he needed the gun to shoot me, then go through my body in the desert. Then I heard the police sirens and people coming out of their apartments to hear the commotion, and I began screaming that he's going to kill me in both English and Spanish. As multiple police cruisers came closer, Victor threw my body into the apartment complex garbage bin and peeled off. When I woke up, I was in the hospital. I needed sutures in many parts of my body. I had a dislocated shoulder, a broken nose, multiple head injuries, many lacerations, and my body was full of bruises. According to the ER doctor, the toxicology report showed 5 different types of drugs, but my alcohol was below the legal limit. You might be wondering what happened to Victor. I saw him when I was able to testify in court. There were 2 other women who came forward with their testimonies, and gave Victor an additional 5 years on top of the 8 he got for the crimes he committed against me. Victor whispered a threat when he got sentenced, something that no victim wants to hear. Someday, I'll get out, and I'll hunt you down and finish the job. I stopped drinking many years ago and have major trust issues. I cannot emphasize it enough. Always be aware of your surroundings.